Hey everyone, how's it going out there?
Dire
This is
team
Kotlguy,
back.
and I'm gonna bring you a sweet, luscious, late night, quiet whisper cast. Because it's late, and the kitties are sleeping. And I feel like
10
we'll
seconds
just go on this
remaining.
adventure together. This is the European Elite League
5
game, and it
seconds
is an
remaining.
official ticketed game. That means that if you're out there watching me right now
Reserve
and you have a
time.
ticket to the European Elite League, you are qualified to win some delicious, sweet item tournament drops, which are actually not that hard to come by. The European Elite League tends to put out copious amounts of in-house gaming
Radiant team back.
and creating better odds for you to obtain those
Dire
delicious
team
drops,
ban.
as said before. So you can see it's pretty nice game we got set up. Aluminum, Mantis, Alicia 9, PSM, Phantom,
Radiant team
Soyon,
ban.
Tipo, Shaklo, Barney, Keanu Reeves, and of course Sexy Bamboo are going to be your cast for this EEL game this evening. And the bans have begun. A lot of the usual suspects,
10
if you will.
seconds remaining.
Abaddon actually being the first ban. That's kind of unusual for a
5
typical
seconds remaining.
game, but maybe they don't want to deal with the tools and versatility Abaddon has to offer
Reserve
as
time.
typically a support role, and they do the same with
Dire
Visage.
team pick.
And the Radiant team goes ahead and bans out the
Radiant team
pushing
pick.
power of the Pugna and the versatility of the Elder Titan. And with that opportunity, Lich makes his debut as the first pick for the Dire team. So Lich is typically that first ban, first big hero, and he has made an appearance. I don't see him very often. Typically he's banned, so I'm happy to see him. Of course, if you're not familiar why he's so popular now, it's probably because in this 6.79 patch,
10 seconds
Sacrifice has gained a delicious buff in itself.
remaining. 5
Lich now
seconds
being able to
remaining.
obtain a little bit of extra XP and gold, I believe, and
Reserve
taking that
time.
away. So when you pick up a Lich now, your goal in mind is to provide excellent babysit abilities and the ability to assert yourself in your lane, gaining a slight lead as far as the EXP and gold against your counterpart. So I wouldn't be surprised if they counter that with a Crystal Maiden pick, I was going to say, but they picked for the
Radiant
Bat
team
Rider
pick.
instead. Bat Rider was typically a top tier in the previous patch, and we kind of
Dire
can vary
team
on
pick.
seeing him this time around. But he will pop up here, so Bat Rider potentially could be in the mid lane, and the Clockwork picked up for a potential off lane pickup. Clockwork's great. Ability of Cogs to cog block those creeps, the rocket flare if you'd like to block that pull, and just has that ability to play a really strong off-lane presence.
10 seconds remaining.
So this is going to be a pretty intriguing game so far. As you can
5
tell, a lot of the
seconds remaining.
latest drafts, a lot of supports are picked up first, and
Dire
just like
team
that,
back.
Timbersaw picked up second for the Dire team. I enjoy the Timbersaw. Quite the crowd pleaser, if you will, if he gets into that overdrive snowball mode. I need to take a moment here to go
10
ahead
seconds
and open up my
remaining.
chat, which I didn't have open at all at my Twitch.Kotlguy.
Radiant team ban.
That's right. If you're listening out there, you can catch me at Twitch.Kotlguy, Twitch.tv/Kotlguy. And my Twitter, of course, is Twitter, Kotlguy, etc. Just a shameless plug for myself. Meanwhile, back in the
10
game, the
seconds
Dire have
remaining.
taken the initiative and banned out the Lifestealer. They're going to go ahead and start
5
getting rid of some of those
seconds
potential
remaining.
late game threats that the Radiant team can take advantage of.
Reserve
They
time.
feel that the Lifestealer is going to be a bit of a problem for them. Lifestealer with that rage can really shut down the likes of a Timbersaw, really rendering him rather useless. So, our
Dire
commander, how you
team
doing?
back.
Yes, the items are on. This is a ticketed game. As you can see at the top of the list right here, we have a European Elite League tag, so I
Radiant
believe that means the
team
game
back.
is ticketed. Anyone to enter the Dota.tv and listen in on me. And if you have a ticket yourself, you can get those item drops. If you haven't already, you should pick one up. It's $3.99. You get copious amounts of games, and you get to watch the likes of
10
many of the top
seconds
tier
remaining.
players, from Dendi to Funnick, Loda,
5
whatever
seconds
else,
remaining.
all out there. And yeah, it's gonna be a calm
Reserve
whisper
time.
cast because the wife is asleep about 5 feet from me.
Radiant
So we're going to
team
take it nice and low and nice and easy. And I'll try not to get too excited. And furthering the bands, Dire is taking out the Crystal Maiden, feeling that the Radiant team really need to pick up that strong number 5 role. Not going to allow him to get the easy pickup of Crystal Maiden, and Radiant respond by banning out rather
10
the
seconds
Weaver,
remaining.
the Obsidian Destroyer. Obsidian obviously going to be in the upper threshold, and
5
top tier ranks of
seconds
that mid
remaining.
lane, which Radiant, they do have the Bat Rider available to go the mid lane. The mid
Dire team
lane. Now
pick.
they opt for the Rubik. Rubik is just such a swell friend. Really looking forward to watching him steal some spells and really have some fun this game. Rubik's my number 2 next to my Coddle, and he's just a real joy to play. I want to thank everyone for stopping by my Twitch
10
chat and
seconds remaining.
hanging out with me here.
5
Ardo
seconds
5,
remaining.
Vindicated, Rahogala. I'm talking to you guys. Feeder Noob, Heart Commander.
Night Stalker.
Oh, look at that. Night Stalker picked
Radiant
up.
team pick.
We'll see Night Stalker head to the mid lane. I always find an opportune time when a Night Stalker is picked up to talk a little bit about what he has to bring to the table now in 6.79. And well, if you didn't know already, the night and day cycle was changed slightly to a 4-minute night and 4-minute day. Now you may think to yourself, wow, that's splendid.
10 seconds
Night Stalker
remaining.
would love to have that nighttime earlier and really roam the prairie
5
land
seconds.
and
5
get those quick
seconds
support
remaining.
kills on said Rubik. But you gotta remember,
Reserve
it's
time.
very crucial that Night Stalker really does take advantage of that first night, and typically you want to build up as much XP and gold and farm as possible so that when you head into the first night you really can assert yourself as a strong dominance. And in 4 minutes time, not the 6, it can be just a little trickier. So we gotta hope that this Night Stalker can get a nice early advantage in that first night. You may even see a Dire team really assert themselves right off the bat and go for an early first blood to really allow Night Stalker to get the ball rolling rather quickly. And a request for the acoustic guitar music. It's just gonna be me and you. We're gonna have a little one-on-one adventure. No music involved. Ooh. Oh my, what a treat. Leshrek.
Radiant team back.
Hey, my old friend, how you doing? Haven't seen you in quite some time. Leshrek making an appearance in this EEL game. Obviously, going to play the role of more support, maybe an aggressive tri-lane setup here with the Leshrek.
10
But I gotta
seconds
expect they're gonna have to
remaining.
lane him with someone who can set up that stun, with that casting delay. It could be Clockwork.
5
Cog
seconds
is gonna make it
remaining.
very easy for Leshrek to really lay down some serious damage. So we'll see if they decide to
Reserve time.
roll Clockwork as not a solo, but more of a duet with Leshrek. And in the meantime, on the Dire side, they pick up the
Dire team
Venomancer.
ban.
Venomancer, those newfound wards.
New
Poison
game
Sting.
hosted.
Just really nice. I'm going to apologize right now for my IXDL thing being up and rather
10
obnoxiously
seconds remaining.
telling you guys that the game's hosted, so I'm going to go ahead and shut that down. Not really necessary.
5
And we're
seconds
back at it.
remaining.
All the way, it does appear that the Radiant team banned out the Viper, so they really don't want to have a struggle in this
Tinker.
mid lane, and oh, look at that.
Dire
Tinker.
team pick.
Crowd pleaser himself. Could be making his move to the mid lane, actually. But we do have Bat Rider as well, so if I had to look at the Radiant team right now, we could see a bunch of different varieties of situations for the laning phase. Could have Bat Rider middle, Clockwork top with a Rubik Leshrek Tinker tri-lane bottom, maybe Bat Rider middle with a Clockwork Leshrek top and a Rubik Tinker bottom, Tinker middle
10
with
seconds
Rubik
remaining.
Leshrek Clockwork bottom, Bat Rider off lane. I mean,
Five
they have the
seconds
choice.
remaining.
They might even look to scout ahead and adjust on the fly, if you will. And to finish out the picks there for the Dire team, they've picked up the Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman is an excellent 5-role support. The pushing power of those wards, great disability. I was gonna say great disabilities. But I don't think Shadow Shaman has any disabilities. I think he just has great disables. He's going to use them. He's going to use them real well this game. And for the Dire team, potential laning phase, we could see Night Stalker middle with a Timbersaw off lane and a Lich Vino and Shadow Shaman top. That's a pretty aggressive lane there, but I mean, what leads me to believe is this Venomancer going to go into more of a DPS heavy carry build, or are they going to put all their
10
eggs
seconds remaining.
in the Night Stalker basket? Or they could just look to really
5
get this game
seconds
going in their
remaining.
favor right off the bat, and maybe mid-game try to shut down the Radiant team after like the second Nightfall. And with that said, the game has begun, and I'm going to go ahead and sensually introduce the teams.
Prepare for
Since the
battle.
Radiant team's not complete, we're going to start with the Dire team. Lumdun is going to be playing the Venomancer. Shadow Shaman is going to be head up by Mantis. Lich is going to be played by Alicia 9. Timbersaw, PSM, and finally Fanasoyon is going to be playing the Night Stalker, who oddly enough is going to head to the top lane. So we might see a old school Shadow Shaman mid lane, which did make a brief popular appearance in the beginning of 6.79, but I have not seen return much since then. But I'm happy to welcome him back, and I look forward to seeing Mantis play him in the mid lane. That should be quite a swell adventure. Meanwhile, we're going to have a pause out because it appears Blue is going to be taking his sweet time. Let's go to Poe. Get back in the mix here. I'll go ahead and introduce your comrades. It does look like Shacklo playing the Bat Rider is going to be heading up the mid lane. In the top, we got not the top rather, Barney. Big lovable purple dinosaur is going to be going ahead and playing the Rubik in the bottom lane. Leshrek, Keanu Reeves, Neo himself. He's going to be heading bottom. And taking up the role of the off lane, Sexy Bambo. And so it does look like Tepo is going to be playing the Tinker. And I would guess that they're going to go ahead and run a tri-lane on the bottom. And this is going to be a pretty offensive tri-lane. So they're going to take advantage of the Rubik telekinesis. Try to get some lifts, throw them down, and allow Keanu Reeves to lay out the easy stun, followed by the burst damage of a Tinker. But they're going to try their best to get the pulls on. They really have to allow Tinker to get as much farm as possible, because it's very crucial for him to get that boot to travel as quickly as possible. And there we go. Blue's back in the game. Welcome back, Blue, to Poe. Always welcome to have you. Us here at Coddle, twitch.tv/Kotlguy welcome you. So let's get this game going underway. And this Dire team is going to be brought to you by the Tree Trunk Courier. And on the Radiant side, we have a good old classic Donkey Courier. Sticking with the tried and true, nothing fancy there, just a good old donkey. Alright, 1 minute countdown to go still. The game is still paused. This is fantastic. Just great. Alright, there we go. 3, 2, 1.
My gratitude.
Now we can start the game. I'm telling you, I'm really intrigued by the Shadow Shaman mid lane. It's going to be Shadow Shaman versus Shackle on the Bat Rider. And, well, on paper, I'd have to say that Bat Rider is going to have a huge advantage in this. I mean, he's going to be stacking up the napalm and taking quick advantage of the Shadow Shaman. I don't know. It's going to take a lot of key positioning by Mantis to really not allow himself to get bullied by this Bat Rider early in the game. We're going to go ahead.
30
We're going to take a moment here to
seconds
thank our
battle.
sponsors at Gatorade for providing this. Well, that was supposed to be a nice segue right there, but my hotkeys are all wrong, so why don't we pause it again and allow me to change those hotkeys? Why not? We're going to switch that over. And there we are. Last sit and deny window. I'll throw that up there so everyone can see who's winning these lanes. And I'm going to try my best to not fail like I did last game and utterly miss every single kill. My last game, I probably missed the first 4 kills with my supreme camera skills. Lumlum's going to go ahead and hang in the mid lane. Now, originally I predicted that they were going to go for an early first blood to allow Night Stalker to get quick advantage and do work with that first night. But the last time I did watch a Night Stalker in play, he did go off lane and he succeeded in getting a good couple of kills in the first night, and it really snowballed him out of control. The double damage has appeared in the bottom lane, and PSM's going to go ahead and pick that bad boy up and proceed to the bottom lane, where he will be going against this very offensive tri-lane. Looks like he's getting a little bit of backup from the Lich. In the meantime, Keanu Reeves is going to pester him a little bit, forcing out the stun, a little bit of auto attack damage, just for his troubles. So we're going to go with a 2-1-2 lineup by this Dire team and a 3-1-1. Sexy Bambo is going to play it safe, make sure not allowing the opposing team to do too many pulls over here. And Batrider getting right to work, is obtaining the first creep hit of the game, so congratulations Batrider on that. Meanwhile, a little bit of aggression here on the bottom lane. BSM with that double damage, trying to do a little bit of work, is going to lay out some auto attacks. The telekinesis flies in the air, right back down. And Alicia 9's right there nearby to really protect him. And here we go, just like that. The creeps have taken advancement for the Dire squad, and it's in their favor already. Meanwhile, Shacklo already making some stacks happen in this side camp. We'll have that security blanket of getting a little bit of extra found, allowing him to really take advantage of this mid lane, giving him the upper hand right off the bat, securing some extra gold in his back pocket. And in the top lane, it's very back and forth, but right now Night Stalker is getting the free space to really get some last hits in, and not too much of a threat just yet from Sexy Bambo. And Venomancer's going to step back. He already has one pull here, and he's going to probably pull that into the creep wave next, making things a little more frustrating. Meanwhile, telekinesis through Timbersaw in the air, and now he's running himself to the side shop where he's going to run into a bit of trouble. He is taking a little bit of damage, but thanks to that passive, he will regen as fast as possible. Alicia 9 trying to lay out some auto attacks. Tinker very aggressive for this. So the Timber Chain is more than enough, and ladies and gentlemen, there is your first blood of the game. PSM baiting out the Tinker. Is he going for more? He takes out the Leshrac as well. So great. Thank you, Sports Center. A great double kill immediately picked off for this Timbersaw right off the bat. He didn't pick off both kills, but they are definitely taking the upper hand in this off lane. Unfortunately, no cam this game. I'm gonna have to keep it more on the down low. Hence the
You're one of the
quiet
good
voice.
ones.
So 0-2 is your score. An advantage for the Dire team, going out to a nice head start. And Batrider goes ahead and picks up the illusion rune, take his business back to the middle lane, and is going to go right back to work, trying to build up as much CS as possible. Mantis is leading the way, though. He has 12-5 against Batrider's 10-0. But he's okay with that, hence the smiley face. And here we go. A little more aggression here on this bottom lane. This is where the action's happening. Keanu Reeves taking a little bit of damage. Timber Chain is out. There goes the stun. The nuke by him. And he push in for it. He's trying to juke back and forth. Keanu Reeves taking a bit of damage. He knows he's going to fall, but he wants to take Timber with him. And that's exactly what's going to happen. In a 1-for-1 trade. Slight advantage for the Dire team. Timbersaw rather, is going to get as many kills as possible. He really wants to get that level 6. He wants to be a force to reckon with and begin to take advantage of his mobility and really run rampage through this game. So I'm sure he's satisfied with that. He picked up his boots, and look at that, he's got a cloak as well. He really doesn't want to deal with all that extra magic damage that this bomb lane has to offer. And as you can see, Toph, he's going to shoot right for that soul ring. A big item pickup for a Tinker. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Night Stalker is leading the pack, 15-2 with his CS. Going against Clockwork's 14-3, so only a slight lead for him. And all the meanwhile, it does appear that he's going to get a little extra assistance now from Keanu Reeves coming to the top lane. And they're going to go for a 2-on-2. And they're going to make a move right now. Fanasoy in a bit of trouble. The rocket goes out. The salve is healing him up. Really nice and quick. Firesock just a little too far right now. And Keanu Reeves making a turn. The Togs do not quite land and bounce him back, and they are first to pull back. So a very unsuccessful gank attempt there on the Night Stalker. Bit action here. You can see the Batrider's going to fly towards that bottom moon, which is being protected by the Rubik. Very wisely. Great job, support. And on the bottom lane, a little bit of aggression there, but nothing too serious just yet. So Batrider getting all the advantage he needs by getting these runes. Really asserting himself in this game, and he picks up the DD. So, calling out a second for a timeout. He's going to gather his thoughts or something, but this game has been pretty much about the pauses so far. But as you can see, Batrider building up a little bit of side gold over here. Actually, I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about, so I'm going to go back over there. I want to circle that with my marker. There's my marker, Sark. Very nice. Picking up a lot of wards. Gotta go ahead and make sure he gets that down, because the vision is not quite there yet for the Dire team. They need to make sure they can see the gank attempts coming. We have reached nighttime, so we will see if the Night Stalker decides to really assert himself in this game. But he's not sitting with much mana right now. We'll see if he decides to make a move on potentially this Leshrac in here in the top lane, or if he's going to play it easy for the first night. I want to thank you, Black Jelly, for giving me shout-outs on my microphone. I managed to pick up the AT2020 by Audio-Technica. I did formerly have the Blue Snowball, but I have upgraded since then, just ever so slightly, and I will be selling off my Blue Snowball. If you're interested, you can go ahead and message me outside this game, but we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to get right back into this game. There we go, Shadow Shaman. Is he going to be persistent for his tower? He does have the level 6 now. The certain rewards are in the bag, but aggression here on the top lane. Timberchain goes out by Timbersaw. He wants this blood, but he's taking a lot of damage from the tower. He's going to be forced to hide in the corner. Does he have the TP? He does not.
Dyer's
A few charges on the wand, but it's not going to quite be enough. He will run into a pickle and will fall in the bottom lane, getting a little over assertive, and Alicia not quite there, but Nice Soccer makes the rotation to the bottom lane. Maybe he'll go for a pick off on his own, but he's going to be sitting back. He doesn't want to give away his position just yet. And they do have the vision on the side, so they will scout out the Rubik. Oh, but meanwhile, though, Shadow Shaman picks off the Leshrac, who rotated to the mid lane, and he will fall himself, though, as Shaklo picks him off. Meanwhile, Telekinesis laid on the Nice Soccer. Creeps are flying on Rubik. There's the nuke. He's going to run around the corner, try to catch him off, and now he's making his move on the Tinker, taking a lot of damage on the counter Reeves. Quickly even to the bottom. Great rotation, manages to land the stun. Nice Soccer in trouble, does manage to get the Rubik down. He's trying to make a run for it, but will fall, unfortunately. And the great hook shot by Bambo. Landing on Alicia 9. She will fall. Here we go. Venomancer in a world of hurt right now. Timbersaw being lassoed up and pulled back. We're going to try to go for both of them. Venomancer does fall, and now they're going to proceed to set their sights on the Timbersaw, who tries to temper away, but will it be enough? The passing is there. It's only level 1. And it's a 3-on-1. Will they chase this down? Batrider seems to think so. The Timber Chain takes him well into safety, and now Night Stalker has returned. It's still nighttime. He's going to go for Bambo. The lift in the air is going to force him to turn the corner. He is going to decide to withdraw from the advancement. And the Radiant team are going to be very satisfied with that team fight. 6-5. Good for them. All the meanwhile, Mantis hanging around the top lane, trying to build up a lot more farm. He did pick up his mana boots, which is ever so helpful. But in the meantime, Keanu Reeves in a bit of trouble right now. The bat is back, and he's ready to have at it. Oh, successfully lands the stun. Will it be enough? There goes the blast, and he will unfortunately fall. Nice Stalker trying his best to get as many kills in this first night as possible before he's rendered almost useless in the daytime. He's trying to get as much farm. And he's doing an all right job. The score is 6-6, and if we take a moment to look at this golden graph brought to you by Jiffy Lube, you can see that it's just only ever so slightly in favor for the Dire team. This game is not. Oh, a great hook shot out by Sexy Bambo, laying a Mantis, but Mantis counters with an excellent trap of his own. Landing the wards, the cogs go out, but it's not going to be enough to save him. The wards is doing too much damage, and Bambo is going to fall to his immediate doom. Mantis taking a little bit of damage, but he's going to go ahead and bottle up, and he'll be just fine. So a nice little pick off and counter initiate by Mantis right there, laying out a trap of his own. And he's going to get a little bit of extra farm with those certain wards, so not too bad. Applauds to Mantis right there for not buckling under the pressure. And all the meanwhile, Timbersaw has reached level 6, which is ever so pleasant. And he's proceeding to hold on a little bit of gold. We'll see him go for those mana boots and clear those items. Let's go ahead and look at the items right here. Very nice. Alicia 9's now level 6, so you might look to see this Dire team try to advance a little more for a team fight. And it looks like they're going to potentially scout out this jungle. Barney's playing pretty safe, just going for a little bit extra farm for these neutrals. Can't really assert himself in this lane, so he's going to sit back and play it nice and easy right now. Depot, he's still saving up for those boots of travel. He's not too far off. It's not terrible timing for boots of travel. Oh, well, the meanwhile, Venomancer unfortunately does take out the Batrider, and here we go. The shot goes in. Nice Stalker now in a bit of trouble. Bambo, one more hit, will finish him off. A 1-for-1 trade, a bit of redemption for the fallen Batrider comrade. Now Mantis doesn't have much to offer. He's taking a lot of damage, eating that nuke. Might be forced to back up a bit, but here we go. The Raven pushing forward. There goes the attacks. There is the Great Chain Frost. Unfortunately, Lich does fall, and the Frost doesn't do much damage, but it's more than enough to really get that kill on Leshrac, and he will fall. The score, 8-9 for your Dire team. Barney continues to go back to work getting up that farm. He's trying to get level 6 as quickly as possible because that's when Rubik will really begin to come to his own, picking up the benefits of a Serpent Ward or Vino ult, or even the Lich ult, Timber Chain. Not really much to offer as far as Night Stalker, but aside from that, he has a lot of spells that are just ripe for the pickings, if you will. Mantis going to take his business back to the mid lane, and we got to talk about the keys to the game. Keys to the game. I'm looking at this Dire team, and they're looking to shut this game down rather early. You know, potentially in the mid game they want to be able to assert themselves, but just as I say that, excellent trap plate. Thank you very much, 6.79. But he will hookshot himself out. Very nice. And Sexy Bamboo playing the Houdini and narrowly escaping that from those wards. And meanwhile, Dire team are going to be forced to get back. So, good defense there by the Bat Rider, allowing him to show up to help his friend in need. They're going to go ahead and farm up those wards. But as I was saying before, this Dire team, they're going to really push to try to get as many kills as possible. You can see by the aggression they're laying out right now, they're going for that Tinker. Tinker trying to use the tower and ring around the Mosey. Will get away, lays out a rocket. That's kind of a get the hell out of here, Timbersaw. Take your business elsewhere. Orange just showed up, Sexy Bamboo looking for the cutoff. Timbersaw. Oh no, he will be scattered out. Will the hook shot be there? It won't. It's low. It tries to bounce away, but it will not be there. Good effort by Bamboo, but it's not quite enough. Night Stalker in the meantime, trying to build up a little extra farm. It is daytime now. He's not happy about that, but he's going to get this tier 1.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Come on, baby, you can get that tier 1. Oh no, here we go. TP looking for the last hit. They deny the laser, allowing 100% miss. Will he get it? They will. Great deny. Great play by Tinker to rotate in and lay out the laser. The smoke is laid. Now they're going to try to make a rotation, allowing this Dire team to really assert themselves. It's going to put them in a bit of a bind. And here we go. Man on the run. They're going to catch the Night Stalker rather easily and quickly take him down. This is not looking good so far for the Dire team. It's 9-9, but this is where the Dire squad are going to really need to flourish. They do have the pushing power. The Venomancer wards, the Serpent wards.
Haste.
They're going to help things out. The sacrifice isn't going to help too much, but the burst damage of Timbersaw is going to really allow them to take control of a lane rather quickly, but they're going to need the pickoffs. His Radiant team is very persistent on not allowing them to do so. So, swell job by them. Alicia has the haste. She's gonna dance around right there. I assume Alicia's a girl. Just assume that. Meanwhile, Timbersaw is gonna quickly try to get a little extra farm. Does have the mana boots now, and if we make a moment to look at the items, you can see that Bat Rider did manage to pick up his Blink Dagger, which is very nice, as well as tier 1. Looks like it's gonna fall for the
Dire's
Dire.
top tower has fallen.
Very quickly and very easily. Thank you, Mantis. Serpent wards.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And the Radiant, hanging out in the top lane, got the tower of their own. Now they're going to go ahead and make a rotation to the mid lane. Let's see if they have their eyes set on this Venomancer, who's just ever so cute and alone, picking these last creeps. He doesn't know he's in a world of hurt. He's about to be in a world of hurt. Here we go. The run in, the cogs. They'll pick it out instead of going for the easy pickoff. The ward is dropped. Let's see if the rotation comes in. A couple TPs are laid out very nicely, getting one of each tower. Timbersaw is here. The clockwork will fall. A 1-for-1 exchange so far, so we'll see if things go on. We're going to a slow pan mode here because things are about to get intense. The action here, the rockets go out, and the marching machines fly as well. Bat Rider, he can do with a nuke. He's going to be forced to step back a bit. He does have the Blink Dagger and the lasso as well, and there we go, just like that. He quickly saves it, grabs the Night Stalker. Is going to be in a world of hurt. The stun is more than enough now. Barney beating up the shackles. The unnecessary Lich ult flies, and will hit a couple of creeps. And now to 2. 2-for-2 exchange. Slight advantage for the Radiant team, managing to take down that Night Stalker, and we'll see if they decide to take out this tier 1. The certain wards are not there quite yet. And did I also mention, though, that the Tinker in this game was an excellent late pickup by the Radiant side to really counter those pushing tactics. Oh my goodness. Great job, Tinker, to quickly missile out that Timbersaw, making it a 3-for-2. Radiant team, they're going ahead. They're going to pull ahead in this one right now. If we take a look at the gold, it's going to be light. Oh, look at that. It's on the Dire side, but not by much. Not by much at all. I would say the benefit would be getting those towers. But here we go. Persistent Radiant team. They have pushing power of their own. Keanu Reeves with that delicious Dalbegating. He's going to try to get those towers. The smoke is laid out and a quick hook shot in. They're going to grab Night Stalker and then try to get him down one more time. It's really going to hurt his morale. Maybe be able to get him the battery assault. It's going to be more than enough. He's trying to survive, but it won't. And there we go. Mantis trying to get a bit of redemption. Lays out the Serpent One's trapping the Galleries, and the burst by Timbersaw is more than enough. And Barney now in a world of hurt. He's going to try to make a run for it. One more Timber Chain will do it. The Timber Chain's there, and he does finish him off. So great job, PSM. Quickly picking up a double kill to finish off Barney. 3 for 3 exchange, so a bit of a tip. It's actually a pretty equal battle right here. And you know what? I'm really looking over these teams here. And I really am not sure how this game's about to go. A triple kill picked up by PSM now. It's looking actually really good for the Dire squad. I guess my amateurs, I didn't really get the time to look over his Radiant team, but if you look over the picks, where's the late game? Yeah, great setup, potential pushing power with the Edict and the March of the Machines, and of course Clockwork's always great for the pick-off, but where's the damage going to be coming from? Maybe the Radiant team are going to be looking to end this one rather quickly. And at least the Dire squad has the Night Stalker there, but for both teams, not a lot of true potential damage, you know? No Weavers, no Phantom Assassins, no Life Stealers, obviously. Anti-Mages, nope. Just good old raw fashion team power. That's what I like. Sometimes it's not fun to just watch continuous fun. You see some action here. And just like that, Sexy Bamboo, he's got the hook shot in his pocket. He's going to look for Loon. There's going to be a bit of trouble. He's going to get it. Yes, he will. He'll make the snag. The cogs are there. Battery assault's laid out. He's going to be taking a bit of damage on his own. Where he trade the 1 for 1. He's trying to run back right now. The Lich ult was laid, but it was not very effective once again.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Lich, as you can see, is building towards that mechanism. He's not too far off, and the Edict's laid out by Keanu. He's going to try to get this tower rather quickly, but Timbersaw has something to say about that. Here comes Night Stalker making a run in right now. The Cogs trying to defensively push him back, and it's more than enough to thwart them. Timbersaw picked up double damage, and Barney manages to add a chakra. And March of Machine will lay a blanket of security, forwarding back the Dire team, and they're trying to scout out. Potentially to see if the runes top. Not a lot of ward placement by them, so they can't really see. Keanu Reeves a little over aggressive there. The wards are dropped once more. Not very effective. Not able to trap anyone by either side, and they're going to play a little bit of that footsie action here in the mid lane. Meanwhile, there is Shackles here. Onto Poe, who's in a bit of trouble. Tinker trying to make a run for it right there. He does have the boots of travel right now, and actually the Blink Dagger, but he's unsuccessful on escaping and will fall to the Shadow Shotman Lightning. Wow. Just wow. Go. More trading action going. Laying out a shotgun of his own. The hook shot is controlled by Bamboo, quickly grabbing off the PSM, but he tried to TP out. Nope, he will not be successful in that. The lasso laid out by the blinking Bat Rider. Gonna go for it. Try to peck away at that loop and finish him down. That's more than enough to do it. Shacklo picking up a double kill. Very nice trade. 4 have fallen for the Dire team, and about 2, maybe 3, I think, fell for the Radiant squad. So go ahead and take a look at the net worth. Shadow Shaman is leading the pack, but just behind him is the Tinker and the Bat Rider. Bat Rider now continuing to build into that 4 staff, which he's very close to completing. It looks like he actually did just complete, so that's only going to make things a little more frustrating for the Dire side. The easy pick-offs, his eyes will definitely be set on the Night Stalker, the only potential late-game threat. You can imagine that they're going to try to pick him off rather quickly. Keanu Reeves managed to get those drums. He loves the extra mobility. The Edict, of course, will make things a lot easier. And Shadow Shaman did get a blink of his own and looks to potentially be building into an Aghanim Scepter. A little more Serpent Wards, a little more pushing power doesn't hurt, and he has that haste bottled up. Lich managed to finish off his mechanism. He's got a couple of wards ready. Really filling out that support role, and Venomancer doing the same. He's got a couple of wards and just some tranquils with smoke. Ready to share with his team. And Timbersaw gonna build right into that Bloodstone. Very typical blood. Very typical Timbersaw item. And the bugger himself, Tinker, you'll see him hopping around back and forth and blink. Missiles, TP back to base, refill back up, and do it once more. 4 staff picked up by Clockwork, providing him the extra mobility for a hook shot in cog, and then a quick 4 staff out, allowing the March of Machines and all of their burst damage to do work on whoever he sets his sights on. So, not too bad there. And a little bit of early. Taking a look at the goal graph, you can see it's only a slight notch ahead for the Dire team, but still a pretty even game. 20-18 is your score. And for the Radiant side, as you can see, Mantis making moves on the Tinkers, getting a little overzealous. The Shackle's there to be more enough for Shaman and Alicia to finish him off, but Shackle showed up to the party. He's going to lay out the Firefly. He does. not have the blink just yet, but they are forced out. The lasso is there as well, so we'll see if he decides to lay that out. Alicia in a bit of trouble, being forced back and forth. Gonna try to turn the corner, won't be enough. Mantis shows up the party, drops the wards, really trying to defend. Comrade in need and Bamboo now in big trouble. There we go, Batrider finishing them off. Mantis managing to pick off the Shrek as well. There goes the Flame Blast, pulling Mantis back to Cogs, shoving him back and forth. They're gonna try to run to the wards for a bit of security, hiding right by them like a little home. Gonna try to ball up as best as possible, and will blink out to a quick TP. Will it be in there? It will not. He will make it out. So very nice maneuverability by Mantis on the Shadow Shaman. This is truly a treat to watch. Night Stalker, not quite night just yet.
Radiant's middle
He's gonna go
tower
ahead
is under attack.
Prowl the land. He's got his Midas now. He's gonna try to build up as much farm as he can for the next night to come. And all the meanwhile, they're gonna go ahead and lay out some wards on the mid lane and try to take this tier 1 as quickly as possible. Rubik takes out the Timber Chain. We'll see if he uses it to his advantage and making it. It does look like this Radiant team are going to want to head and defend this tier 1. Will they be successful? Night Stalker does have his ultimate ready. The ult goes out. There's the marching machines a little far back. Batrider on the outside has 5 more seconds for the lasso. He's going to hold on and wait for it. A really low Night Stalker. We'll see if they go ahead and pursue this one. There goes the rocket. It manages to pick him off. So good shot there by the Clockwork. To finish off the Night Stalker, just took a bit too much damage right there. It's really frustrating for this game. You can see he's 2 and 7-3, so it's not looking so good for him in this game. So you really have to start stepping up. Here we go, Blink Lasso. DSM the Timbersaw taking a lot of damage here, but the passive keeping him alive. The Gale trying to slow him down, but the rocket will be more than enough. The Timber Chain comes just too little too late. We're having a lot of rockets here. Team Rocket blasting off at the speed of light. Tinker and Clockwork just really shooting at it. It's this Dire team. Alicia and Venomancer, 2 little supports trying their best to defend this down, and coming around the corner right now is Mantis, but he's being pinged out. The Radiant team well aware of that. They're going to look for him. And he's going to be forced to turn away. He did manage to finish off his Aghanim Scepter, allowing him to have potential really good pushing power. All the meanwhile, Night Stalker hanging around this bot lane. Radiant making a rotation to the bottom now. You can see Keanu Reeves and Barney making an advancement. He does have that Chakram in his pocket, and they are going to catch him right there. And here we go, the quick blink. Hex, there goes the Chakram. It was a well job baiting him out. Now they're going to try to turn on Barney. So a quick 2-for-1 exchange, working in the Dire's favor. 3-for-1 exchange. So great place forwards, great initiation. The counter initiate wasn't quite there for the Radiant team, but any little bit counts for them. And now, looks like the Dire are going to go ahead and hang around this bottom lane. They might push forward and see if they can get this tier 2. We'll see. We'll see. All the meanwhile, though, Tinker
Dire's top tower is under attack.
hustling and bustling around his top lane. We'll see if he decides to go for a Sheepstick or a Dagon build. And here we go, Dire. They're persistent. They want to end this game
Dire's
earlier
top
rather
tower
than
is
later.
under
They want to go
attack.
ahead and push for this tier 2. We'll
Radiant's
see if the
bottom
Radiant
tower is
try to
under
defend this
attack.
one. The rockets are out. He does have full mana. He will play the marching machines. Can't get too close just yet. He might get picked off, so he's going to go ahead and play it back. The rockets want to
Dire's top tower is under attack.
here we go. Shacklo doing the blink in, trying to grab Alicia with the lasso. Will it be enough? She'll take a bit of damage. Lays out the Chain Frost, but once again, it's going to be to no avail. Flies outside. I would consider Alicia holds on to that ult just a little bit longer, waiting for the opportune moment to really lay out an effective Chain Frost, and it does look like the Radiant team are going to be able to deny this tier 2 tower.
Radiant's
So the
bottom
Dire were
tower
successful in
has
getting the tier
been
2, but
denied.
unfortunately it was denied. Tinker looks like he's gonna go ahead and build more towards that Sheepstick build, so I'm really happy to see that. The extra disable is really nice, and
Dire's
well,
top
a Dagon
tower
isn't
is
always the
under
best
attack.
bet. Well, meanwhile, it looks like the Dire team are thinking about the idea of potentially doing a Roche, but I don't know if the damage is quite there to get it done quick enough. Radiant team, they have their eyes set on this tier 1. They're going to try to take it rather quickly here. Dire has something else to say about that, though. They're hanging out in the mid lane. DSM throws out that shot. He does finish his Bloodstone. Put the 6 charges there. He's got to look to further build on that.
Dire's top tower is under
Did opt to
attack.
turn his mana boots into the Bloodstone. So we'll see if he decides to build another pair of mana boots or maybe power treads. Who knows? Maybe in boots of travel. These are all pairs of shoes. Could be great options. A little rotation here, but the vision is there for both teams now. They lay out the ward. They're going to go ahead and try to go for the Roche. They do have the double damage, and with the wards and that Hagnum Scepter, they're actually getting it down much quicker than I would have anticipated. So they get it really quick, and I'm sure that was even surprising for the Radiant team.
They
They're
can't
going to pick it
kill
up quick,
me.
and
Nobody
looks like
can.
they throw the Aegis on the
Dire's
Timber
bottom
Saw.
tower is under attack.
Interesting enough. I guess that's going to be nice. They're going to want him to be around for the long haul to get out as much burst damage as possible in these team fights to really take apart the weaker
Dire's
units.
bottom
As in
tower is under
Tinker's
attack.
only got about 1k life. The Rubik's under 8k. Shot slightly over. So he can burst him down rather quickly, but we're having a bit of a scuttle here in the bottom lane. It's the Dire team
Dire's
running right through the
tower
jungle, but all
is
the
under
meanwhile,
attack.
Clockwork with a long hook shot to quickly pick up Alicia. He's out on the run. Quick battery assault, the rocket push ahead. And it's more than enough. Alicia falling once more. And here comes a quick turnaround, but Clockwork bow out. There goes a nice Lich ult. Chain Frost is there this time, bouncing successfully. Leshrac doing the work with the ultimate and Edict. Does take him down. It's a 4-for-1 trade, but the Aegis does pop for the Timber Saw. Takes an advancement and quickly takes out the Clockwork, and it's going to be forced to retreat now. Oh, the quick blink, but it won't be enough, and he timber chains across the river to get himself out of that bind. So, a bit of advancement there by the Radiant team. The Chain Frost was very nice, but just didn't put out enough damage to finish off the Radiant side. And, well, also Mantis was in the top lane, looking to build
Radiant's
potentially
top
towards a
tower is
Force
under
Staff, it may
attack.
seem. Or maybe a Necro Book for a little extra pushing power is always a smart pickup if they want to end this game sooner rather than later, of course. And if we take a moment to look at this gold graph, brought to you by TGI Fridays. Great apps, great happy hour. It's going to be slightly
Radiant's
advantage for the
courier has
Dire
been
team,
killed.
3,000 gold lead. And net worth, as you can see, Shadow Shaman still leading the pack at about 11,000 gold. Tinker right behind. Trying to be much of as fast as possible, building gold as quickly as possible. And as you can see, it does look like Shadow Shaman is going to go for a more heavy push build, getting a Necro Bolt. But Shaco running into a bit of trouble, over-asserting himself. And unfortunately gets a little too ballsy and falls to the die. Really thinking he had the pick off right there, but he doesn't. Most of the Dire now congregating to this bottom lane. Let's see if they decide to push through. Xiao Shaman does have the wards. He does have the Necro Book. It is in his stash. He's going to opt to wait to level it up, not really put it out on the map for the Radiant to see just yet. And it looks like they're going to map out a smoke screen to make a jump on the middle. This does have the potential to be very good for the Dire team. They are going to make an advancement on the Radiant squad, who is running around to the top lane, so we'll see. The things are
Dire's
out, but
middle
they're not
tower
quite
is
there.
under attack.
Oh, there was a sentry ward here, as you can see. For the Radiant team, they do scout it out, and they quickly
Dire's middle tower
thwart
has
that
fallen.
plan and take their business to the top lane. So, great ward placement by the Radiant team. They're able to see the smoke screen, and it's going to be going off to no avail. The plan was there. It was great, but unfortunately, it's not going to work in their favor. They are going to be persistent about this. Sexy Bamboo being caught off, and there's the sheep stick quickly laid out. 1-2, bada boom. He is going to quickly fall. Oh, nice job by Rubik to take a certain portion of his own, but he does decide to camp up next to those. Not going to be a really effective spot just yet, but Mantis is going to run through them. There will be enough to finish him off. He is blocked out by his own wards and will not be able to escape. It's unfortunate. Meanwhile, looks like Timber Socks picking up that blade while trying to do work with the Timber Chains back and forth, taking off the Tinker really quickly. So a 2-for-2 exchange so far. Looking to set his sights on Barney, trying to turn the corner. The Timber Chain is out there. Goes the shock room. It does whiff behind, and Rubik's going to be able to escape to the top. Lay out the telekinesis, but nice teleport insurance for the party. And it is nighttime. Looking to build towards an
Radiant's middle
Agnes.
tower is
Interesting
under
enough.
attack.
And they're going to try to take down this tier 1, or tier 2 rather, in the mid lane. But not if Batrider has anything to say about it. He has a lasso in 5 seconds, and of course that Blink
Radiant's
Dagger ready.
middle tower
So we'll see if
is
he
under
tries to
attack.
thwart that plan. Ooh, taking a bit of damage here. Timbersaw very aggressive, laying out the Blade Mail. The pull is out, laying it by the tower, and here we go. TP laid in by the Clockwork, but a great Timber Chain gets him out of that bind, and now it goes to the low ground. We're gonna have the fight here. Timber Chain goes out, but the Battery Assault really putting a hinder on his plans, and now the Timbersaw running into a bit of trouble here.
Radiant's middle tower
Lays out the Blade Mail as a last-ditch effort. The Timber Chain to the north, trying to make a run for it.
Radiant's
really getting
bottom
aggressive on
tower
this.
is under attack.
They will manage to finish him off, and now they put their sights on Alicia. Pushed after, trying to come out to a bit of safety. She's taking a lot of damage. The Batrider. They swing by and they will manage to finish her off rather quickly. The rocket flies out. Aluminum. He doesn't want any part of this. He's going to head out rather quickly.
Radiant's bottom tower.
So very back and
is
forth
under
battle.
attack.
Slight advantage for the Radiant team. A little overzealous action there by the Dire. Ready to take advantage of that. The longer this game goes, this Radiant team are going to really be able to assert themselves rather nice, especially with the likes of a Tinker on their team, especially going Sheepstick. They're going to really shut down anyone they choose. But for me, I would have gone for more of a, you know, out of the norm. I like to think more of outside the box, and I would have gone for maybe an Orchid build on the Tinker because, I don't know, I see a Timbersaw on the other team, and I would think, hey, is Orchid really a bad idea to shut down the likes of a Timbersaw and really shut down all these casters from doing anything? And as far as I know, the rearm ability does work with an Orchid, so you know why not? But hey, Sheepstick could do the same job, only better. So not a bad idea at all. That's what makes him better than me. So it will be a great pickup. It will shut down the team well. So the Dire squad are gonna have to do their best to make sure they don't get caught off like that. It doesn't seem that any of them are really going for many defensive items. We're not seeing many Lincoln Spheres or BKBs this game, so they're really going to be susceptible. Forget that word for now. Watch this action here. As you can see, they're struggling out the stun on Mantis, running into a bit of trouble. Even the Cog with battery assault really shutting down, doesn't manage to get out the Serpent Wards and will take out the Leshrac and the Clockwork. So nice 2-for-1 exchange. Susceptible to the CC. I'm not going to try saying that word ever again. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to be able to happen. Meanwhile, Dire looking on the hunt right now. They catch Satchel. Will it be enough? He's going to go ahead and pack him in the back right there. He's going to make a run for it, but he does have the push stick ready now in case things get a little more frustrating. He's going to hold back. He has a flaming lasso. He might wait for his teammates to show up and go for a blink snag on this Night Sucker. So Rubik should bait them out a little bit longer. And Yellow should have rotated to the mid lane. They could have managed to get a quick pick off, but they're going to opt not to do
under
that.
attack.
All the meanwhile, Tinker is just about to complete a Sheepstick, so that's going to help a lot. Susceptible. Hogala. Night Stalker does manage to finish out the Agnum Scepter, so you're going to see a lot of nighttime here. It's gonna be really hard. The vision is going to be quite there, which can really put a jam for someone like Tinker who really needs to have the vision there for the rockets. So that's an interesting counter build right there. We'll see if it works, Colin. The Clockwork as well won't have quite the vision he needs to really get off a successful hook shot. Mantis, he's already got a level 3 Necronomicon, so the pushing power is there and it's in full force. So if the Dire team manage to get a decent pick off here, they can really assert themselves in one of these lanes and take down a Rax rather quickly. So this could get very interesting, but Alicia running into a bit of damage herself. The hook shots out, clock. Doing work right now with the battery assault. Timbersaw there to help things out. Is it going to be enough? He's going to get the quick hook off Alicia. Does get finished off by the rocket by a nearby Tinker, able to get into the mix rather quickly. And there we go. The last all the Timbersaw. Hanging out a little too long. The rest of the Radiant team making excellent rotation work. Are going to manage to finish him up quickly. But here we go. Dire persistent. They want to avenge their friend. The Venomits are laying out the ultimate. Bambo quickly zipping out to safety. So very nice. And there we go. In a bit of trouble right now. A newfound Sheepstick is going to go on him, but now Keanu Reeves is running into trouble himself. The Necro Book is popped, and Mantis with a killing spree, finishing him off. And now they're going to look to go on Barney, who will fall as well. Mantis doing some serious work, getting back into the mix. Turns things right around and makes it more of an even team fight. But being forced to waste the Necronomicon, they're not going to be able to push too hard, so they're going to opt to rotate themselves elsewhere. So great rotation by both teams. The Radiant showed up in time, but they couldn't quite take down the Timbersaw quick enough to get out of there. And the Dire got to show up to the party. It was fabulously late, but they did show up and really make the game back to even. 35-32 is your score. Bambo getting caught up by the quick. Oh, 4 stabs him way out, but it will not be enough. Mantis, more than confident he got the kill. He's going to walk away rather early, so thank you very much, 6.79. The new ward placement has allowed a nice little gap in the middle, making it much easier for you to get those ward traps, which is very effective. And I'm really happy to see this Shadow Shaman come into play and just really be a force to be reckoned with. Now, fortunately enough, they're not really dealing with a lot of late game of the Radiant team, so they can really take advantage of that. The entire team, they're persistently long lane. 73 seconds till the wards are back up. The book is about to be back up though, so we'll see if they decide to really push things out. This mid lane, but quick blink and lasso on PSM, pulling him back, but it's not going to be quite enough damage. The team rotation isn't quite there to back him up, and now he's going to run into a bit of trouble. Here comes the marching machines. He's going to lay a lot more than that, though. That lane does fall. This dire team swinging ahead. There's a Necro Buck. They're going to fish off Piano Reason. Now they're going to go for this tier 3 tower, I would assume, but the creeps aren't there quite yet, so they're going to have to wait a bit. Meanwhile, Tinker trying to stop him. He's got to lay out a lot more marchers and a lot more rockets. The blade mill popping out, countering off Tinker and his marching machines. That's not going to be enough damage just yet. They're going to go ahead and try to pack out this tier 3. The ward's still out there for Mantis. The hookshot by Clockwork. Quick work of the Night Stalker. Great job there. Timbershot laying out the chakram. The Lich ult does fly. It's going to be a little ineffective right there though. And now Tinker showed up. A quick blink and push down, trying to make something happen. Quite out of range though. They get the sheep stick. They'll be forced to step back a bit. And there we go. Quick blink in. Everyone's moving so quick. It's going to be hard to catch up with this camera, but I'm doing the best that I can, and I appreciate everyone's patience out there. Let's go ahead and take this brief lull in the fight to look over some of the items. As you can see, Shackle is going to opt for that Mithril Hammer, building into a BKB. He doesn't really want to get shut down too quickly when he decides to blink in, so that's a pretty smart build. Tabo and Tinker did pick up the Sheep Stick, so we'll see he decides to build into a Dagon for a little more burst, or maybe another potential pickup. Barney's got the Mana Boots and a Blink Dagger himself, and 2 different sets of drums for both. Here we go. Right in the top lane is all good. Oh goodness. Quick blink in by Tinker. That's quickly forward by Mantis, who's there. Clockwork's here as well. We have a bit of a scuttle here. Unfortunately, both Timbersaw does fall. Now he's going to be forced to run back. Mantis trying to get off, but the Force Staff quickly saving his life, so great job there. The Necro Book just going to go ahead and opt to farm instead. So Mantis trying his best, and great counter initiative by both teams, but still makes it more of a draw game. And as you can see, it's slowly percolating ahead for the Dire team. They're about 6,000 gold ahead.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Alicia 9 trying to get back in the mix, looking to build a 4-staff for herself. So the name of the game, everyone, is mobility. 8 daggers, 4 staffs. Oh my, Mantis showing up, but just not in time. Just cancel out that TP. It does appear that Reeves is going to go ahead and get out of there. Quick TP in by Tinker in the back lines, and the quick blink back. And try to stop this Dire team from getting any sort of advancement in these lanes and picking up a lot of farm himself. He's got about 3k in the bank, so we'll see what he decides to do. Opting to hold it for a little bit of buyback money right now, just in case. Tinker's one of those great heroes where as long as you have the buyback money, you can get yourself back in the fight rather quickly. Thank you very much, Blink Dagger and Boots of Travel. PSM does have the blade mail and picked up those Boots of Travel, and as you saw on your screen, Shao Shaman has got his BKB. Nice pickup by Mantis right there, giving a little more survivability. Bambo goes for the Ghost Scepter, which is interesting enough, as long as it didn't take too much burst damage from the Lich Ultimate and Venomancer and Shadow Shaman. Seems to be more concerned about the idea of the Night Stalker, or maybe furthering advance the damage. I mean, he could be building that into Ethereal Blade to really let his teammates do a lot more damage, so it's an interesting build. We'll see if it pays off. All the meanwhile though, waves drop down. The Dire team, they're going to look to pick off this Roche, but without those wards, it's not going to be done quick enough. He drops the wards right there. Roche is going to have a bit of a brawl right here. Bambo making a move on Tinker. It's very back and forth. Alicia does fall. Here we go. Tinker trying to make a move on Venomous, and he's forced to opt back, and he will TP out. Nice sucker make an advancement on him though. So a bit of a back and forth, but only Alicia falls. Timber falls, but he does buy back. He's going to go ahead and TP right back into the mix. So Radiant do lose Clockwork in the meantime, but they do thwart the Dire team from allowing them to do the Roshan. Well, the Roshan did happen. Oh my goodness, I'm not paying attention here. Apologize about that. And Night Stalker did pick up the Aegis, so the Dire team did manage to finish off the Roshan and grab the Aegis. Did lose a couple in the meantime. Night Stalker really go balls to the wall and make the move on Reeves with Timbersaw on the back lines. Pops the Aegis, and will probably get the quick pick off. Shrek, oh, excellent stun. Shackle shows up to the party, tries to slow them down. Rubik's here. There we go. Tinker shows up. The quick bait in. More than enough to quickly take out this Night Stalker. The Gale flies, but it will whiff. There goes the rockets, and boom, he does fall. So great double pickoff by Tinker, showing up just in time to save his friend. In need, the quick telekinesis snare. But there goes the elements of the rockets. Shackle doing his best to run to the north right now. Mantis on the hunt. As for the BKB, the Necrobook though doing a lot of damage right there. He's going to be forced to run back. There's a great link. He's going to wait for the BKB to wear off, but the Firefly is going to go to the north. Will be enough. Yes, he will. He does make it moves. It's going to have a bit of a O.J. Simpson chase we have here. Will blink even further up. Trying to make a run for it, but they do know where he is. They see the Firefly trail. The top of the cliff he goes, though, and he's able to TP out of there, so... Great elusiveness, rather. Laid up by the Bat Rider to get out of that jam. Items are enabled. Kev McAney, I am a ticketed holder. This is a ticketed game, and I am sitting in the broadcast channel, so if you go to twitch.tv/Kotlguy and watch it, as long as you have a ticket yourself, you are in the mix to get an item yourself. So we'll go ahead and take this moment to look over some more of the items, as you can see. A lot of push sticks, lots of mobility, blink daggers, oh goodness. Oh my. Lots of drums, music's being made. This is all great. No problem, I'm happy to cast these games. It's a late night cast, so it's gonna be a little bit of that sultry whisper cast. The wife is asleep not too far from me, so we're gonna go ahead and take it down to a nice low level here. And look at this. Night Stalker gonna assist his friend in need, Mantis, and build the Necrobook himself. He already got 3 recipes in the bag, and they're going to look for an all-out push strat. They're going to try to go for maybe a potential pick-off and try to really run rampage on the Radiant base with a couple of Necrobooks plus the wards and plus the wards of Venomancer. Oh my goodness. This could be great. Radiant team, however, they have their own plan. I'm going to do a little bit of nice spawn. You got to watch out. That's Tinker. Always has the potential power for a great split push, so could be going in for an interesting game. As you can see, Night Stalker completes his book, the good book. They're going to scout out these wards. And they're going to go ahead and assert themselves in the Radiant jungle. Got to be careful here, Barney. A blinking. The sheep stick goes out. He's going to be in a bit of a jam. The shotgun goes out. And the force step to the north will not be enough. And he does fall. And the Dire trying to scavenge any other kills they can. Tibertron pushing ahead, but will not scout anyone else. So Barney, unfortunately, in the wrong place at the wrong time. Here we go, Dire team. They have the numbers. It's 5 versus 4. They're going to try to assert themselves and really take advantage in this mid lane. But no, it looks like they're very cautious of Tinker, who did take his positioning in the top, and they will TP out and counter that a bit. They're going to wait for a better opportunity to really lay down the push. They did have to use their books. So maybe they're going to go ahead and wait for a better opportunity. Send me Sexy Bamboo in the meantime, sitting on the side. He does have a teleport to get out of there, but he's going to just opt to sit there for a little bit, and we'll see. Seeing if his team will rotate, but they won't, so he's going to opt to go elsewhere. Meanwhile, Bat Rider making the quick blink snag on Alicia. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough there to really pick her off, so he's going to be forced to retreat. And Alicia, with that mechanism, does have a little more survivability, plus the Frost Armor never hurts, so you can't get an easy pick off like you used to anymore. These supports on the Dire team are building up a little bit of life. You can see Venomancer has the drums, so he managed to get himself bit more in the life kit. Oh, unfortunately, all the meantime, Timbersaw caught that clockwork, who decided not to TP out and just wanted to run through the jungle instead. He did get caught out and picked off, so I apologize about missing that. But it's rather interesting, as you can see, both teams have a lot of AoE power, a lot of pushing strength. So really, any potential team wipe can really end the game. For either side, you have the Shrek Tinker, and you have the Shadow Shaman. Nice Stalker with the Necrobook. Venomancer wards, of course. There we go. Quick little blast on Nice Stalker. Tinker's there. They're going to try to shut down quickly. There goes the Sheep Stick. They're trying to CC him down. He's taking a lot of damage right here. One more auto attack. And Tinker does finish the job. So great pick off. I wrote the Bat Rider and the Tinker. Scouting out the Night Stalker and being able to rotate in and get him off quickly. Doesn't hurt. Night Stalker sitting at 3 and 11. He's been having a bit of trouble, but he did manage to farm up the Necrobook, opting not to go with more of a DPS. He knows he needs to end this rather quickly. I don't know what those mean. I know what drug is. But Holdenki? Not sure what that assume it's celebrating the aggressive tone. All the meanwhile, this Radiant team are off to lay the law on this top lane. Quickly, the ever mobile Tinker jumping all over the place. Hard to keep up with, of course. Yeah, and as stated in the chat, Timbersaw not really getting the opportunity to build up a lot of charges on his Bloodstone. He has been falling a lot in these fights, unfortunately. He's not really being allowed to snowball out of control of this game. Does pick up the ultimate orb, so you can't expect him to build that more into potential sheepstick. But the name of the game, interesting enough, has been... now we're going to go ahead and we're getting a lot more BKBs, which is nice. Keanu Reeves picks up a BKB himself, so surprisingly enough, he's been able to get a sufficient amount of farm this game, which is great. Has brown boots though, and quick blink in. And unfortunately, Sheep sticks out. Tinker's going to be in a trouble trying to help his friend in need. The lasso happens. Tinker will be able to get himself to the jungle, try and TP one more time. The poison though is going to be too much, and Tinker will fall. And here we go. The rest of the raid squad's here. Barney in the party. Oh, a nice push stick out by Sexy Bambo, but the blink in by Mantis, and he goes ahead and hex out. Sexy Bambo's going to run a lot of trouble. The nectar blues are dropping. The first damage is going to be way too much, and here we go. Just the motivation the Dire team needs. They're going to push down this top lane. They're making a run on Barney. Barney force staffs himself forward, blinks away from the Timber Chain, will successfully TP out, so great elusiveness by Barney to get out of there. He's in a jam, although meanwhile Radiant, they want to be able to pose a threat in this mid lane. And the Dire, rather, will take the bait and move themselves back to the mid lane, so no team really being able to take advantage and go for the push, but they are blinking out. They want to go for it. Oh, all the meanwhile, Shadow Shaman does pick off that Bat Rider who is in the mid lane. They're trying to distract him for the potential push power, so while Timbersaw rather, I always call him Timber Chain, I don't know why, he's hunting him out. Ooh, he does successfully get out of there, and all the meantime, the Dire team are going to try to take this tier 2, so... Lich and Venomancer are not faulting to move to the mid lane. They're going to go ahead and get this tier 2 rather quickly. Rubik's here, but he's not going to be able to
Radiant's top
really
tower
stop
has
it.
fallen.
Ice Soccer showing up now. He does see the Barney. He's going to lay out the nuke, but he does have the push down. Pushing himself in. The Necrobook was dropped, and they're going to try to put as much damage, but if he gets overzealous here, he might run into a bit of trouble as Tinker is shown back up. He's going to show up back to the party. Telekinesis throws him in the air. There's the Sheep Stick. The Dagon is dropped as well. There we go. Lasso laid out and moving. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to go back to the fountain. We'll just assume that he's going to die, and there he goes. Necrobook on his mid lane, and now the Night Stalker in a little bit of trouble. There we go. The Sheep Stick. This is what Tinker is known for. The constant CC and harassment, the extra burst damage is more than enough. You can't allow this Tinker to get too much control. That's just what's happening. Poor Timbersaw is going to force try to Tinker chain out of here, but his mana is so low. He will have it. He will go to the low ground. The Bat Rider laying on the slow, laying it on hard. They'll burst him back, and they're going to go ahead and pursue this out. The Battery's on by Bambo, also doing a lot of work. Take him down, so just like that. Dire losing the motivation they had, and the Radiant team successfully defending a very overzealous and over-aggressive Night Stalker. Virgil got caught out and forced his team to try to back him up at an inappropriate time.
Much appreciated.
The Radiant will be able to take advantage of that. 45-41 is your score. An advantage for the Radiant team. Let's take a look at this gold graph real quick. Gold graph brought to you by McDonald's. Get yourself a fucking Happy Meal today. An advantage for the Dire team, about 8,000 gold. And they're going to go ahead and try to finish off this tier 2 with the help of Edict. That shouldn't be too much trouble. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. Good job, Keanu Reeves. Doing work. Takes out the tower. Very nice to get themselves back in the mix. Meanwhile, Mantis trying to run back to the base. Picks up an ultimate orb. Looks like he might go for a sheep stick himself. And look at this. Another Necrobook picked up by Venomancer. A lot of pushing power. They really... The name of the game is push it to the limit. They're going for the tier 2 in the bottom lane. Bat Rider does have that lasso and blink in his pocket if he's ready to make a quick advancement on an overzealous teammate. And there we go. Overshot's out. They're going to catch Mantis. He pops the BKB, lays out the wards defensively. And there we go. Wing Shackle happens on Mantis. They're really trying to take him down right now. He's not quite taking enough damage. Very tanked up. Unfortunately, the Lich will fall. They're trying to make a turn right now. Oh, the great godlike Mantis being able to survive the turns. The Tide takes out the Leshreck. All the meanwhile, Tinker taking down the Venomancer. Here we go. Nice Sucker, very persistent for Mantis, holding him in place. They're going to try to whittle him down. They will do so. Double kill by Mantis, just simply doing work with the Shadow Shaman. It's quite pleasant. PSM, they can run for it. Chakram's laid out. He's trying to slow out this Leshreck, but will not be able to catch up, and they'll be forced to go back. So back and forth we go. The Dire team being initiated on this top lane. Mantis doing his best to really rally his team together, able to get a couple more kills. 47 to 43. Oh, here we go. A little bit of Blink Sheep here. Shotgun is laid out. Gonna really thwart this push. Tinker laying out the marked machines. Mantis shows back up. He's got 40 seconds in the ward. BKB Batrider blinks in with a 4-step out, really trying to segregate the Timbersaw from the group. They will be able to telekinesis him there and shut him down, so a quick pick off, but he will buy back and get right back into it. Defending this, so forcing the buyback out is worthy enough. We'll see if the rating decide to pursue, and they will. Shrek doesn't have the edict right yet, but they're going to try their best to get this tower down as quickly as possible. Cogs to drop. Mantis doing work on Sandy Bambo. The Necro books are popped. They're pushing ahead right now. Sandy Bambo, try to get out of there. There's the 4-step Timber Chain. Flies, they're making a hunt. There we go. Nice Stalker more than enough to finish him off. The Blink Dagger, though, successfully getting himself out of the mix as Batrider makes a run for it. Clockwork rides back into the game. Stun is laid out defensively. Trying to make a run. Barney in a bit of trouble right now. Doesn't have much to offer. Gamarie's trying to make a turn. Pops the BKB, trying to lay out as much magic AoE as possible. But Mantis, dropping the wards and trapping him in there, does turn the tide. Night Stalker running into a bit of trouble. Very low Dire team. They're all so low. Clockwork is about to be back in the mix. There goes the hook shot. Laying in and catching off the Night Stalker really quickly right there. He has 90 seconds on that buyback. Mantis in a lot of trouble as well. Will he be caught off? Trying to make a run, but here we go. The Lich Ult bounces back and forth from his to get him as well. The quick buyback by Mantis. There he's going to be right back in the mix. Timbersaw trying to make a run back. Now they're going to push forward for it. Mantis still is about to show back up the target, and so is the Night Stalker. Back once more, laying out the silence on the Tinker. They're going to push forward right there with the Clockwork. Catch him off right now. Meanwhile, Mantis laying Shackle on the Batrider in the north. Going to push up to the trees right now, try to get himself out of the mix right there. He does not have the TP. Oh, he does have boots of travel, so he does have the TP available. All the meanwhile, Tinker going to try to distract and go for the top lane up here, laying out the march of machines, and the Dire's going to be forced to squandrel back. But they're blinking out the Roshan, which might not be the best idea. If the Tinker gets wind of that, he might put an advancement on this top lane, but looks like they're going to go for it. With all those Necro books, it should take this down relatively quickly and not have much of a threat, but they are being pinged out. The rating is aware, so we'll see if they decide to make a rotate on it.
Not so fast.
They're not going to vary that. Based on that rocket, they're going to go ahead and stick to it. We're making that. Here we go. Batrider shows up to the party. They're going to go ahead and try to take it down. They pull him up to the high ground. It's more than enough. They're going to go ahead and have a 2-on-1 battle on the high ground right there. Meanwhile, Roach is sitting so low, the Necrobook might be able to take him out. So we'll see what happens here. Bambo, Barney shows up. They're going to try to take the Roach, and they do. Shadow Shaman does snag the Aegis. Quick Aegis snag by Mantis. Great job. I don't really know about that, but I didn't. He will fall and pop the Aegis rather quickly, but great job to pick it off. Barney there. Go ahead, telekinesis in there. They're going to throw him down, and this is not looking good. Nice down for 100 seconds, as you can see. Drops the wards, but is not successful. Now he's out 4 down for a long time. And if you look at the buybacks, they're not going to be there for anyone. No one has the buyback. No triple kill by the Tinker. They're going to go ahead and try to make a push already for this tier 3. It looks like on the bottom lane. They're going to go for it quickly, and Dire, they know that they're not going to be able to defend, and it's going to be more than enough motivation for this Radiant team to take it. Amazing job. Radiant team of last hurrah battle at the Roche. As I said, it probably wasn't the best idea to go for it. They didn't quite have enough damage to take it out quickly, and the mobility by the Radiant team were able to get there quick enough to really take it to the Dire. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. If you liked what you heard, you can check me out at twitch.tv/Kotlguy, as well as Twitter, Kotlguy, you know. So, thank you very much for tuning in, and maybe I'll catch you on the next one. I'm going to go ahead and call tonight, as it's pretty late, but I want to thank you for joining me for this sensual Kotlguy Cast, everyone. So, be well to yourself and be well to others.